Greetings and salutations, gentlemen. Welcome back to the Empty Temples channel. Today's background bourbon is again Early Times. And for the video today, we'll be taking on the Red Pill movie. Not exactly a review, but thoughts and feelings about the film from my perspective. Without going into too much background information about the film, we all know that this was a movie set out to document the men's rights movement by documentarian and self-renowned feminist Cassie Jay. And while a lot of the film would be considered basically the AVFM movie, it still brings forth a lot of valid points and issues that most men should know if they haven't been sufficiently red-pilled yet. In regards to that element, if you have been red-pilled, this movie will not really present any information that you do not already know from your hours and months and sometimes years of research. But that does not mean that this film is invalid by any means to the seasoned red pillar. And personally, in my own mind, this film is still relevant and should be watched by men around the world, especially those that are still in the blue pill mindset. The film introduces the men's rights movement, goes through various aspects of the movement, and you get to see some of the key players, at least from AVFM. Paul Elam has a very good amount of contribution to this, as does Dr. Warren Farrell. But really what hit home for me personally, when I was watching this on Hulu, the portion about reproductive choice and father's rights really hit home to me as a father myself. I'm watching this movie. In the room is my 6-year-old son, and when some of these facts and statistics of suicide rates of fathers that have been divorce raped or otherwise drugged through the system, having to jump through hoops, and most not even getting to see their children, I was just decimated and brought to tears by some of the personal stories and a lot of these facts and figures that I've even already known for years, having to deal with divorce and family courts and child custody. And while I've never really had to fight that hard for rights to my child, the men that do and their stories always bring me to tears, because these men are not the deadbeat fathers that society wants to prove they are. They're just hardworking men that wanted to have a family and that failed, and they want to see their children, and they're met with stymies and roadblocks and court cases and all other methods of keeping the children from them, and it leads them ultimately to a place where I thought I was almost at with suicide. And it's enough to bring you to tears if you've experienced it. And if you have any kind of empathy toward the men that do, this portion of the film is just very heart-wrenching and actually merits this being a recommendation that a lot of men need to watch. Other than that, she does have the feminist circus within the film as well, and every time these people are on the screen, you just want to punch the television or the computer or whatever device you're viewing it on. They're kowtowing the narrative. So it's very favorable to the men's rights activists. And even at the end of the film, Cassie Jay herself says that she no longer describes herself as a feminist. But regarding the movie as a whole, as it relates to MGTOW, the MGTOW element in this film is very minimal. There's maybe 10 seconds worth of footage about the MGTOW movement. But that still doesn't necessarily make this film automatic throwaway. It is a good look into the MRM as a whole. And there are some good interviews within the film. Warren Farrell's interviews are quite well done. So are Paul Elam's. Karen Strawn is in the film, and she has a very good section, albeit very minimal, in my opinion. Still, all in all, a good film. I would give it a B, just because it's facts that are stated are really things that I already knew, and it just kind of reiterated into my mind. But as a whole, I would definitely recommend this film to men to watch to get a better understanding of the men's rights movement. And I would definitely forward it to male feminists and feminists alike just to piss them off. Solid B, but not an A+. We can do better, gentlemen. Coming up very shortly, I'm almost done with DDJ's book, The Feminist Lie. And that is going to be the next video that I discuss on this channel. So, until then, gentlemen, keep your heads high and go your own way. Cheers.